Greetings, YouTube. You know, there's an inherent risk anytime a content creator posts something that seems to be the advantage of a player against the AI of the game. And a lot of people post videos and they have fantastic motivations behind them. They just want to help people, right? Like if you love Killmonger, you just want to make a video promoting how Killmonger is better this month. I've received notifications this month, even like in the last 24 hours, about how there is this theory, and I haven't done a video about it yet because I haven't got it 100% confirmed, but some people are convinced that Iron Fist is way better after the update, or at least in the last like couple weeks, and it just kind of suddenly happened. Know some people who play with Iron Fist all the time, and they're going into these fights that normally they expect to do a certain amount of damage, and they're doing like 3 to 4 times as much. And they love it. It's awesome. But I say that to say, Kabam has this pattern which a lot of summoners have seen all too familiar. I think about this all the time when it came to spamming the level 1 revive on certain paths that it would keep refreshing. And those of you who did this know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Just basically know that there was a break in somehow the way the items were distributed, that the level 1 revive should have disappeared, and yet you could farm them over and over and over again. And I know some people who used it to actually not spend many units on Labyrinth of Legends, and certainly we wish that kind of thing would be around for the variant difficulty that just hit this week. But I say that to say, like, I start off this video with the purpose in mind, and that is to say that I've seen videos against Aegon and the Champion, and not all of them have talked about Killmonger, but I've seen a lot of them talk about Mystic Dispersion and about how you're getting crazy, amazing Mystic Dispersion, especially with champs like Magic, because of certain things triggering it very, very easily. And when I see those videos, I think, ooh, I don't know, guys and gals. I don't know. I don't know if that's such a good idea to put out there, because Kabam does this thing where they scour the internet for any advantage that is costing them money. And honestly, I know that sounds evil or something, but if I was a for-profit company and I knew there was a glitch in the system that was losing me money, I'd probably want to fix it myself. But obviously, the more times you make it public, the more opportunities there is to catch it. And so Kabam released this post about bugs and known issues, and Kabam Mike has responded. And basically this whole list, at least how I read it, is just closing loopholes that have given the player an advantage this month. And they did actually announce when it's going to be fixed. So if you're taking advantage of any of these loopholes and you're like an insomniac, or maybe you're waking up across the pond and you're seeing this in the morning and there are some paths of Aegon or the Champion that you have left and you have a proven strategy that's worked with, say, a Mystic Dispersion Champion, I would highly recommend you use all the energy refills you have left, or even units if you have to, and you complete it. This reminds me, when they announced that Scarlet Witch was going to be nerfed, I did not download the new version of the game until I 100% completed Act 4. And Lord knows I would not have done it nearly as fast and nearly as easy had I downloaded the game soon. So I just stayed up and I spammed energy refills, and I got everything done with Scarlet Witch before she lost so much of her power. In that way, again, if you have a champion that you can beat Aegon or the Champion with that is going to be hurt by these quote-unquote fixes, then you want to make sure that you get those paths cleared before you lose that advantage. So what advantages are we talking about? Well, Kabam Mike has talked about several things. Fixed an issue where Champion was triggering Danger Sense, even though he is not tagged as a villain. This, of course, affects Blade, and I've actually been using my Blade to defeat him, because I find that even though I know Archangel is the most popular champion in large regards, at least from what people have talked to me about, I really like using Blade against him. My special 2, my special 1 wreck him, I just wait for the Unstoppable to go down, and then I attack back into him, and I don't know if he's going to be as good. I'm kind of worried about this. I've got 3 more paths on the uncollected champion, and part of me thinks, do I really need sleep tonight? Maybe I should just hammer that out. And then fixed an issue where the timer for Primal Fury in the Champion's kit was tagged as a buff and was triggering Mystic Dispersion. As I said before, this is an issue that's causing you to gain more power than you should, which is giving you the ability to defeat him more easily, especially with champs like Magic. Fixed an issue where Aegon was triggering Mystic Dispersion when being hit by any attack. Again, apparently this is just a advantage for the player that's not going to be there in 12 hours. Fixed an issue where Killmonger was not receiving any damage from effects such as Degeneration or Limbo while he has an indestructible charge. Now, this has been covered by many in forum posts and on YouTube, and I totally get the hype behind asking, was this a permanent buff or a bug? I just want to say, if Kabam did not specifically put a buff in the patch notes, they can always claim it as a bug. That is what I have noticed time and time again as a pattern for the developers. And even when they take something away, like Drax's Astro Evade with Mordo, they can still say that it's frame rate, right? They don't even have to say it's a bug. They just say it's a frame rate issue and it's no longer possible because of frame rate, which also legally gets them off of giving anyone rank down tickets, because they originally said if we do anything to hurt a champion's value after patch 12.0, their agreement with the community was that they would provide rank down tickets. And I know some people are still waiting for those with like Dormammu. Obviously, it's not happening. But, okay, so another advantage. I don't know. I think maybe the appropriate title for this video would be Rest in Peace to some of Killmonger's patch 21.0 buffness or something. Because you don't want to say all, because you haven't played with the champion yet. Maybe there's still some of the newness to Killmonger that so many people are excited about. But it certainly sounds like there's going to be a significant step back from what he's been doing in the first part of this month. And then fixed an issue where Domino is bypassing Force of Will's immunity to ability accuracy reduction. I don't actually have any idea what the heck that means. It sounds like maybe if Domino was bypassing something, that was an advantage for Domino. So again, it could be an advantage for the player that's being taken away. But in this case, I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments below. We plan to have these live in-game at approximately 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Those of you on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead, if that gives you any heads up on if you want to use these champs to defeat Aegon or the champion. Just regardless, the lesson here, as always, is it's a very big risk for anyone. I don't care if you're a content creator on YouTube. I don't care if you run a forum post. I don't care if you have line chat. The more that people bring up publicly that champions are better than they should be, the more Kabam is going to silence them in the middle of the month. And they're going to put a patch together that fixes it. And I think the thing that bothers me the most about this kind of thing is that it was very obvious last month for like the get-go that the Summon Symbiote was broken in Alliance War on Defense. That he was not doing nearly as much, taking as much damage as he should have. On attack he was, but defense he wasn't. But guess what? That advantage actually was to Kabam's advantage, because if he was a harder mini-boss to defeat, then you were put in a position where you either didn't get as many rewards because you couldn't clear the map, or you had to use more revives and potions and units, and so they made more money off you. So that was an advantage that they never talked about once publicly, as far as I know. And that still bothers me. It really does. But you have advantages like these that clearly are the player's benefit, and they are going to go away in the next, like I said, 12 hours. So I'm putting this video. I don't know if Killmonger is going to go all the way back to normal. I don't know if the clock has struck midnight and Cinderella has put the slipper back on, so to speak. I just know if you have any kind of Killmonger gameplay that you want to get done and you feel like he is your go-to champ, you might want to use all of your energy to do that. And if you use certain champs like Magic against Aegon or the champion that really are benefiting from Mystic Dispersion, if you've got that cranked up to like 4 or 5 and you are worried that you're not going to be able to have as much power after tomorrow morning, I would say keep using energy refills. It's worth it. Now, hopefully, being optimistic, Magic will still be a great counter. Obviously, Killmonger will still be good. Killmonger was already really good before. But it is a shame that when people start to get really excited about the quote-unquote evolution of a champion, it's really just a temporary high that will be corrected in a patch, because if the player has the advantage, then the house is going to take their money back. And that's what you're seeing here. I know it's a casino reference, but let's be honest, Marvel Contest of Champions is one large gamble and one large Marvel casino. Thanks for watching. My last word to you, if you're watching this and it's late, obviously, is if you are worried at all that this is going to make it harder for you to be uncollected this month, use the refills and don't worry about it, because you'll so wish you had if you find that you're dying a lot more easily than you were when you fought them the first time. Thanks for watching, YouTube.